And now, CCW News presents Holy Crap! This is actually happening! Swift Resolutions Edition, February 8th, 2024. I'm Chuck U. Farley. The big news this week is that the EU is literally covered in manure and mostly on fire. Authorities only noticed the difference because it was actual Europeans crapping on their own country for a change. In other European news, King Charles has been diagnosed with cancer. Reports are that the tumor itself is benign, but Camilla has been malignant since 1970. Several foreign invaders jumped police officers in New York City and, thanks to Democrat leadership, were immediately released back on the streets without bail. They showed their respect for their host city by flipping off reporters and officers on their way out. Reports are that they are headed to California, where they will never face such inconveniences as actually getting arrested, even temporarily, for committing violent crimes. Speaking of the Socialist Republic of California, border jumpers can quickly qualify for Medicaid, which means that, as of January 1st of this year, more than 700,000 illegals are now eligible for taxpayer-funded sex changes. We looked it up, folks. This isn't satire. In the well-duh department, the United Nations, in league with several NGOs, has been exposed for facilitating mass migrant trafficking into the U.S. The Biden cabal, in solidarity with the slave runners, is working hard to ensure that plenty of taxpayer dough will be allocated to these organizations. In a move that can only be considered self-flagellation, Nikki Haley put herself up in the farce of a Nevada primary, a state that picks its candidate via caucus, not primary. Of course, President Donald Trump was not included in the shenanigans. Even with massive support from her fellow Democrats, Haley was only able to garner 30% of the votes and yet still lost overwhelmingly to, literally, none of these candidates who got 63%. You're nobody called today, Nikki. Do you think you're being clever? Among many controversies, one of which is her absolute inability to do her job effectively, long-standing nepotism hire Ronna McDaniel says she will be stepping down from her position as RNC chairwoman. Since she has a bit of an issue with truthfulness, we'll see if she goes through with it. In the Democrat camp, after the corpse-in-chief took 89% of the votes in the Nevada primary, Marianne Williamson suspended her presidential campaign, to which the country responded, "Wait, she was running again?" The U.S. has set the bar so low for calling any and everything an insurrection that most of the world has forgotten what one might actually look like. Liberals have become so adept at rigging elections that the world has forgotten what a fair election might look like too. But if there's one thing the current administration has exemplified, more so than Hitler or even Stalin, it's how to relentlessly persecute your political rivals rather than consider the desires of millions of your citizens. Smaller nations are following suit. This week, Brazil has seized the passports of their former president Bolsonaro and most of his cabinet due to an ongoing investigation into a bunch of unarmed, flag-waving protesters occupying a building, resulting in 0 casualties or changes in power, or what the current administration has labeled a coup d'etat. The dementia dictator has gotten us into yet another hot war, and he still hasn't done a damned thing about the border, but he is trying to lower our grocery costs by calling grocery stores big meanies and demanding they magically fix the economy he's broken by going broke themselves. As promised, he is also trying to unite the country, and he's doing this by having his handlers quote Elmo on the X platform. I swear I am not making this up. The socialist media is spreading a conspiracy theory that Trump supporters are afraid of Taylor Swift because her boyfriend will win the Super Bowl and use it as an opportunity to endorse Biden, thus enabling an epic win as brain-dead Swifties turn up by the millions to drool on their ballots, just like the man himself. This is real, ladies and gentlemen. The supposed leader of the free world is quoting a puppet while Pravda pretends neither a Super Bowl nor an election could be rigged, because that's never happened before. Given that literally every one of Swift's songs is about choosing the wrong man, should she come out in support of Biden, this reporter stands firmly behind her endorsement. For CCW News, this has been Holy Crap! This is actually happening! I'm Chuck U. Farley. Good night, and may God help us